A very warm welcome, Canterbury. Welcome to Canterbury Live on Monday, the 22nd of June. Very exciting news. Madge is coming to New Zealand. Yes, Madonna will be here in March next year. Tickets will be going on sale in July. It's her first time to New Zealand, so you could get along. She's doing a couple of concerts at Victor Arena. But doesn't she look fab? That is an awesome strike the pose look there, isn't it? Very cool indeed. Rightio. Next up, overnight, 6 medals. Yes, the New Zealand rowing team have taken 6 medals in Italia. 4 gold, 1 silver and 1 bronze. They are just so unformidable. They are fantastic. We wish them all the very best for the next stage of the World Champs. And last but not least, a bit of goss. Tell you what, Wellington, I told you I was going to Wellington the weekend and I had incredible service, food, beverage, everything, but went looking for a pair of boots. And girls, you know what that's like. Hate going looking for boots. You know, it's a bit of an investment. Went into this one store, Lambton Quay Mischief, was looking at some boots, and the young assistant spotted the boots I was wearing and asked if she could clean the boots I was wearing. I kid you not. Well, I did end up buying a pair of boots from her, but what an amazing, amazing little add-on value service. So if you're heading to Wellington and you want a pair of boots or shoes, head along to Mischief on Lambton Quay. Excellent service. Rightio, moving right along. The icy weather is definitely here, and so will Disney on Ice. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream. Join your favourite Disney princesses and heroic princes in a classic meets contemporary celebration of 75 years of Disney princess stories. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream at the Christchurch Horncastle Arena from the 7th to the 9th of August. Tickets available from Ticketek. There we are, Dare to Dream, and these could be your tickets. As well as that giveaway this month, thanks to Ira Mitchell-Kirk, we have the beautiful painting that has the Matariki theme. For both of these prizes, all you need to do is to call through on 3777 033 or go to our Facebook page. Make sure you like us, leave your details, and you could be the lucky winner. It's as simple as that. Rightio, coming up on today's show, the wonderful Elgregoe joins me. Yes, he does. Elgregoe is here, and it's all about anti-bullying. So he may not pull a rabbit out, but it could be a bully. We find out exactly what's going on in his world. And St John Day is coming up, and we're joined by Debbie Pipson and the team, telling us exactly what's going on with them and the wonderful work they do within our region. And Phil Brady, a sensible finance man, is giving us some information, talking about those payday loans. Anyway, first up though, as always on a Monday, it's time to talk nutrition with Nicola. Hi, Nicola.
Hello.
And it's veggies today.
Yes.
The V word.
Yes. So sometimes they're looked upon as the less attractive thing in the meal.
Frowned
upon. But they really are so good for us. They're full of nutrients, vitamins and minerals, and we can't make these things in our bodies. We need to eat them. So this is absolutely jam-packed with the vitamins and minerals, so really good way to get them through your fruit and veg.
So how much should we eat?
Well, you hear the 5+ a day all the time, and that's the minimum. It's at least 5+ a day, and so the 5 splits into around 3 vegetables and 2 fruit. And we've talked before about the amounts that a serving is, and I like the way that they use the hand, because that also signals how much the portion is for you. So for an adult, it's what would fit in an adult's hand as a serving, and the same for a child. So a mandarin might fit into a child's hand, an orange might fit into an adult's hand, and similar sort of thing with a handful of vegetables. Yeah.
So how can we fit this into mealtime then?
Yeah, so I've got a plate here that shows how a plate should be laid out for the evening meal, and this shows that half a plate of vegetables. So if you're serving up a meal and you have your potato and your meat component and half a plate of vegetables, it's easy enough to work it out then. But sometimes if you're doing, say, a stir fry or a casserole with vegetables in it, sometimes you think, have we got the right proportions?
Yeah.
So if you're thinking for the servings, how many people you're having for your meal, try and get at least a cup of vegetables per person if you're making those. And that would be about 2 servings of vegetables for your day, and you think you might have some sort of vegetable at another time of the day and another meal with your breakfast or your lunch, that sort of thing. But at least a cup per person, yeah.
It's interesting because, of course, it's separated the potatoes. Do you think sometimes people just think of potatoes as my veggie, as that's fine, I've got my spuds on there, so that's fine, it's good as gold, I've got my veggies?
I think they often do, but the big thing also that we talk about with vegetables is getting those colours in. Trying to mix up as many colours as you can. So potatoes are a good vegetable also, but for the half plate of your vegetables, try and get lots of colours. The different colours have different nutrients in them, and that combination really keeps you really fit and healthy.
So what do we do? And it's not just the children though, but if our children don't like veggies and you're really struggling and there's tears, there's fits happening at the dinner table and you go, I can't be bothered.
I think one thing is, don't get too worried if it's not when you're sitting down to the family meal that all the vegetables are eaten. If your child might sit and help you or talk to you while you're preparing the meal, they might crunch away on a piece of carrot, they might sort of help you prepare the vegetables and sort of munch away on some while they're raw. And you might be able to also sneak in, if they don't like them specifically, vegetables on the plate, if you're having something with a tomatoey sauce with it, you might be able to grate some carrots into it, or other grated vegetables, or some small chopped up vegetables into that. If you're having a lasagna or some sort of minced dish, that's a great way to hide vegetables in there. So there's other ways you can sort of sneak them in.
Veggie soup, that's one of my favourites for winter. All the great lentils and all the barley and that. Is it a good way of getting our veggies as well? Yeah,
definitely soups are such a great way to get your vegetables through the winter. And the stats show that vegetables, and fruit and vegetables, can decrease our risk of lots of illnesses and help us fight the effects of the ageing process, which is great news. So things like different types of cancers, heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure, they can all be the risks of those reduced by getting your 5+ a day. So,
and another spin-off is actually an economical meal.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And you're buying vegetables that are plentiful. I see this coming into work today. Raywood Fresh. They've got whole pumpkins, very cheap. I mean, wow, a whole pumpkin feed a whole family, can't it?
Yeah,
with the pumpkin soup.
Yes, you can get several meals out of that, and that's the great thing about soups. You can just about throw in anything you've got in the fridge, and a few spices and things or herbs, and you've got a meal made.
Herbs. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that can just add to the flavour as well.
Absolutely.
Just a simple bit of addition.
Yes.
Can just make it an incredible meal. Now, tomorrow though, speaking of incredible meals, you're in the kitchen, tomato and potato soup?
Yes, and the potato just makes it a beautiful, thick, creamy soup, so without adding the cream or something high fat. So we big tin of tomatoes, potatoes, bit of celery, or like you say, if you've got something else in the fridge that you want to use up, a few herbs, and blend that up, and it's lovely and creamy with the potato making it nice and thick. So it's something that's really cheap to make, something you've probably got in your cupboard, but a really hearty, tasty soup.
Great, thanks Nicola. Awesome. Right. Remember, that recipe will be up on board, of course, on the website nourish.org.nz. Yummo. Well done. Have a great week. Now stay with us, because after the break we're joined by St John.
Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help!
And that is what you could be yelling. Maybe not the Beatles or the remainder of them now, but you could be asking for St John. And now we're joined today by Debbie Pipson, who's a fundraising, marketing, communications manager. Welcome, Deb.
Thanks, Andrea.
You're not a stranger to Canterbury Live.
No,
been a few times before. And Millie O'Grady, so you're the partner in crime, are you? Fundraising administrator.
Yes, I am.
Does she boss you around a bit?
No.
She's right.
She's not scary, is she?
No,
She's a good chick. A very exciting time though for St John. St John Day's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Wednesday it's St John Day. So we'll be out and about around the country doing things that are good and kind.
Good and kind.
Good and kind.
I hope you're good and warm.
We will be.
Crikey, it's going to be a bit chilly this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what can we expect then?
So we'll be out at a couple of the malls with our vintage ambulances and our staff and team, and just reminding people about what, you know, just doing things for people that's kind. St John draws its name from St John Day, and so it's just about recognising people and what the day actually stands for. So I'll be buying someone a coffee.
Will you just?
Absolutely.
Oh, I might do the same. That's an easy one, isn't it, really? We can buy each other one, can't you, really? And Millie, it will be a fundraising, though, surely. You will be having a bucket out for collecting and things, will you? Or?
It's just about acknowledging the support from the community, because we couldn't do what we do without them. So we're not asking for money. This is us just saying thank you. Yeah.
Okay. And the volunteers are so important, though, aren't they, Debbie, as part of St John, aren't they?
Yeah, we have 9,000 volunteers across the country, and it is Volunteers Week, actually, so the two sort of coincide. Yeah. So it's just about recognising our volunteers. We've got cakes being delivered to some of our volunteers and coffee, and it's just about acknowledging...
pics there, actually, yeah.
Yeah, acknowledging people.
Because one thing... people, unless you're actually in hospital, you don't realise, but you have some of your St John volunteers there. So they're not medical staff, but they're there just because they're there. Is that right, Melanie? Yeah,
just to support the families of those who are in hospital. So might give you a cup of coffee or just be there to talk to you. Because, it's not hard. It's hard when you're in hospital with someone and the nurses aren't really looking after you, they're looking after the sick one. So.
They are. And not everyone also has someone.
No.
Do they?
No.
And sometimes when you're in A&E, it can be a long time before you're actually in there waiting. Not intentional, but it's a very busy place, isn't it? And you do feel quite alone. Okay. So what's St John up to during the year then, Deb, after this week? What have we got coming up?
So, July we kick off. We've got a fundraiser, the Great Cookie Fundraiser.
Yum.
So we'll be out and around the town selling our cookies.
Are you baking them?
No.
You're amazing.
No, I am baking a cake tomorrow, though. Yeah. CTV might be in on that. We might have to deliver one.
Really? Jeepers. Okay, I love that.
Yeah,
okay.
So we've got a really busy year. Actually, on Wednesday, something that I would like to mention is there's a team heading up to Cheviot. Cheviot have had it pretty hard over the last few months. So there's a team heading up there with a barbecue with ASB, and we're going to, open up the camper van, come and have a chat. So, some really exciting things happening.
Okay, well, the end messages, and I love you coming on, very brief, but this Wednesday, do something nice for someone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And actually the rest of the week, not just one day, to be fair. Have a wonderful day, ladies. All the very best for that. Keep warm. For goodness sake, keep warm, and good luck with your baking. Geez, Debbie, it's pretty interesting, your baking. That's going to be good, isn't it? Rightio. Now, finance. Those payday loans. I'm catching up with Phil Brady. And here he is, Mr. Sensible himself, Phil Brady.
I wouldn't call me that.
Well, you're here to give us sensible advice, aren't you?
I hope so, Andrea, yes.
And I think that's the main thing. Now, let's talk about payday loans.
Yes. There's a couple of firms offering these sorts of loans. We won't mention any names, but certainly they are available. And when I've actually analysed one particular loan, let's say it was for $200, then the borrower has to pay back 4 instalments, and they like to be $60 each. So that's only over 4 weeks, so that's $40 in interest. And when you calculate that out over a year, that's $480. So that's nearly 500, no, it's 300% or 400% of what the actual borrowing
amount.
The principal amount, yes.
But that just shows desperation, though, doesn't it? For the person that is going along to these organisations, they are in a bad state of affairs, aren't they?
They generally are, yes. Yeah. And, of course, once they get that advance, then they're going to find themselves short for the next week. Because the reason why they've gone and borrowed that is because they're short 1 week. And then so the deduction comes out of their wages, like $50, so they're going to be short again.
It's a vicious circle, isn't it, really?
It is, yes.
So high purchase versus bank loan?
Yes. Well, I guess the advantage where a bank has is that the interest rates are lower than a hire purchase company. Typically around about 15%, maybe 16%, whereas a hire purchase firm around about 20%, sometimes they can be up to 22%. And also a bank can probably lend the money for a bit of a longer period. More interest, mind you, but probably a bit easier on the repayments.
Okay.
Yes.
But this whole thing, though, with the hire purchase, though, it is a dangerous territory, isn't it? If you can't afford it now, are you going to be a miser and say to us that, no, if you can't afford it, you can't have it?
Well, hopefully some new legislation might actually bring this to a possibility, because just recently there's been a new act enforced called the Responsible Lending Act. So the lender and the borrower both have responsibilities to make sure that the loan is affordable. So, you know, any lender should do credit checks to ensure that the client has a good credit history, and of course they must also check that they can afford to repay this loan, because it is a big commitment. And you know, I deal with a lot of people who have got into trouble, get their cars repossessed, for example. Just recently a young girl, you know, a $12,000 car, it's in the shop. I don't know whether she's going to be able to keep it, but in the meantime the lender's holding the car in case she can revive the situation. So it's really sad that...
You've said a couple of things that alarms me. One, a young girl,
yes,
and a $12,000 car.
yes.
Is this the problem, though? Is because we have these movies and that about the fastest, best car, and this becomes their pride and joy, but the first car should not be a $12,000 car.
Yeah, I believe that in this particular case some money was put in by family, and so the loan was quite small.
Right.
But it's just a lack of discipline, I guess, that suddenly the payments get behind, and the lender's going to repossess.
So these new proposed responsible lending laws, when do we hope for these actually to come into fruition?
Well, they're supposed to have started just recently, but I just don't understand the teeth behind how it's going to be administrated. You know, how they're going to keep control of these bad loans, if I can put it that way.
And do you think that it could be fine-tuned to actually go over to these vans we know that are going around, and trucks that are going and preying on those in neighbourhoods? Do you think it could actually facet out even further?
Well,
so we
let's
can control
hope
this?
so, because I was just reading an article in the paper the other day where, you know, the interest rates are really, really high, and it's by direct debit, so it's so easy for the person to buy the goods. And I read about them buying groceries, like a bottle of milk, you know, it's going to cost them $10, you know, when you add the interest on, because the repayments are slow, you know, like it's a direct debit spread over a long period of time. So, you know, it's the convenience of it, that the truck's right there and the person's got no money, I'll go and get that off that truck and go on the tick type thing. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this new Responsible Lending Act does search into that too and stretch its tentacles into that particular...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hope so too,
Yes.
and that these people have some sort of conscience instead of preying on those people. Once again, Phil, you are Mr. Sensible, but thank you very much on this Plus Story Monday. Look forward to next time we cover the next few subjects. Now, after the break, a little bit of magic is going to happen in the studio. Yes, it is. I'm joined by Elgregoe.
It's a kind of magic.
Get up, stand up for your right.
Yes, and as promised, there's a little bit of magic that has stepped into the studio. I'm joined by Elgregoe.
Hi
Hello,
there,
my
Andrea.
friend. It's so wonderful to have you in here. You really are a big face here in Canterbury. You've brought a lot of joy to a lot of people.
Well, it's something I enjoy doing, so yeah, I'm pleased to be here, Andrea.
Yeah, but it's wonderful though, because today you're here with a different sort of hat, top hat maybe, and that's about the anti-bullying campaign that you have very much been the forefront of for Trust Power.
Well, that's right. It's 17 years now I've been performing in schools, combating bullying and talking to kids about the issues they face in their schools. And it's been great as it's developed over the years. And now we've performed to over 1 million students in New Zealand. And I think we've performed at nearly 200 of the 220 schools in Canterbury. So, yeah, most of the kids in Canterbury have got a chance to have seen our program and our message.
Now, is that a very fancy lunchbox, or what do we have
this is
here?
my briefcase, and I always take this into the school. When I arrive at a school, I tell the children I've got something in here, but I also warn them that when I pull this out, they probably won't believe their eyes, because inside my briefcase today, I've got just a minute. Oh, don't worry, it's just a 8-foot aluminium stepladder, and I'm just carrying one. Whoop, I've got. Whoop, just a minute. I'll just pop it over here. I've got it. Yeah.
Bit of Mary Poppins happening there.
Yeah,
Have you got like a mirror in there or something else, or a coat stand?
I've been carrying a stepladder around the country this year because my job is to talk about steps. You see.
Right.
And so I pull this out at the beginning of the show, and I tell the kids each year there's 5 steps they can take for a great day at school, and we just work our way down the stepladder one step at a time, giving them some really good stuff they can use in their schools.
Well, we're very fortunate thankfully, because Elgregoe is a very, very busy man, but is making time, and over the next few weeks, you'll actually be taking us each step through for our viewers about your anti-bullying.
Well, I think the program we do in schools, the messages we give to the children, it's good for parents also to hear these messages. You can see and hear what your children are learning in the school. When our show comes, parents probably wonder what it's all about. So they get to see some of the key things we teach them that help them deal with bullying, and then parents can also help them work through many of the issues they're facing by knowing some of the simple steps they can take, and I think they'll be quite interested.
And also it's conversations, isn't it, that sometimes we need to sit down with our children, especially sometimes they can be a little bit closed in and don't actually open up. And I guess that's what you're doing, is opening their eyes.
It's knowing the signs, it's looking at children, sometimes you can pick up when something's not quite right, but then also knowing what to do and what are the simple steps kids can take. Today we're faced with the internet and the cell phone use and a whole new line of issues in the area of bullying, and we're giving some kids some simple remedies on how to deal with that in the schools. So I think the parents will be keen to know what these are too, so they can just say to their kids, hey, why don't you do this or do that, and simple things you can do to overcome issues that you're facing in areas of bullying.
And what is the feedback you're getting then from the parents?
Well, I have to tell you, a lot of people ask me, does it make a difference? You go into schools, you got 1 hour, does it make a difference? And I always say to them, well, it's the schools, it's the parents, it's the families that can make the difference, and we're part of it. You know, we can be part of it. So what we tell the students, they can take home, and what we tell the schools, they can put into effect in their schools. So schools, I believe, are making a big difference, and a lot of good things are happening. We're seeing more good things than bad. So when we go to school, it's quite exciting to see schools saying, this is great, these are the things we're already doing, and you're here to remind our students of these things that are important here and the things that we want to see happen. So we're really complementing schools and helping them make a difference. I think it would be true to say most schools want to make a difference, and we can help them along the way. So
because it is a community issue.
It is. It is.
Shouldn't be isolated. Now, for you personally, though, you've had some real accomplishments as far as receiving awards, haven't you?
We have been lucky. We've sort of got the stamp of approval, so we're very lucky for that. Yeah, yeah. In 2009, we received the New Zealand Order of Merit from the Queen for education, and that was quite an honour because those awards you don't expect, they just come out of the blue. But it really gave our show a sort of stamp of approval and a bit of mana, and a lot of schools thought, well, this must be a good show. So it's opened up doors for us to get in that we might not have. And the magicians also gave me an award, the Grand Master of Magic Award for New Zealand, which was nice. Another one you don't expect, but it's nice to get that acceptance,
isn't it?
That acceptance and approval for what we're doing. And the Variety Artists Club gave us the New Zealand Top Children's Entertainers Award. So we've really been lucky, because they're awards you can't compete for. They're ones that people give you. But I'm really pleased that it's given us the credibility to go into the schools and for people to recognise that, hey, we've got a quality program, and we're passionate about making a difference.
Exactly, and also a huge big thank you to Trustpower for making this happen, which a lot of companies can quite easily just advertise, but they're actually giving back. And as I said, you're very lucky. Over the next few weeks, we'll be bringing weekly Elgregoe with some tips and tools.
Lots of hot tips.
Lots of hot tips, but
and a little bit of magic.
A little bit of magic, great.
Yeah,
magic. Can you make the weather appear bright and sunny out there?
Well, I hope it does clear up. Yeah.
Good on you. Good seeing you, and really look forward to the next few weeks. Well done.
I look
Congratulations.
To sharing more hot tips.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for joining us today. Radio, on tomorrow's show, we're joined by Casabella Interiors. We're out on location with Nourish and a bit of Zen. Phyllis Brown joins me. Have a fantastic day. We look forward to doing it all again tomorrow.